Good afternoon and welcome back to the Swatch Women's Pro, the opening day of competition for stop number 7 of the Samsung Galaxy Championship Tour. We finished 6 big heats to get underway for this long waiting period we have here in Southern California. Thanks for joining us on the WSL Post Show. Joe Chappelle alongside former CT competitor Rosie Hodge. Hi, Ro. Hi. Potts, former world champ, had a great day.
Yeah.
Rosie, you got to go into the lineup. Check out, which is now your adopted home break. People are missing the Rosie Wright throughout the day today, but we saw some great performances.
Yeah, definitely. There was a lot of opportunity on that little right-hand bank, but we've seen some great surfing throughout the day. I think to get the ball rolling on day number 1 of the competition and just see, you know, the repertoire of all the ladies out there was pretty impressive.
A couple close decisions we had today, Potts, including a Bethany Hamilton wild card, almost victory. Nikki ended up taking the win there, and obviously that top part of the Jeep leaderboard kind of rattled on the opening day.
Absolutely rattled. I mean, I had a quick chat to Courtney, and she said, you've got to surf to win heats. You know, she understood that she's surfing good enough, but she just didn't catch enough waves, and I think that was the downfall. So she's going to tweak that and come back strong.
Well, we got to finish on a very high note. 6-time world champ Stephanie Gilmore showed us why. She's a former champ here at Lower Trestles. Gilmore's with Peter Mel.
Yep, and so it's Stephanie having a conversation here with her. Sorry. Stephanie, the boys were talking in the booth, Ronnie and Ross, about how comfortable you look in a jersey, and some of your best surfing comes while you're wearing a jersey. Is that something you feel?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe that's because I don't usually take filmers with me when I'm free surfing. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I definitely feel like I don't know, I love being in that situation. I love feeling that pressure and then having to rise to the occasion and seeing whether or not I can do it. And I guess then, you know, when that happens, you tend to, you bring out the best in yourself, and that's kind of what happens to me most of the time. And I mean, this is my 10th year on tour, so I've had a lot of good moments, a lot of time in competition to try and perform well and surf good.
And again, how do you draw that inspiration, having 10 years on tour? What keeps that spark lit?
Actually, I saw a big Durbridge walking down the trail here yesterday, and you know, we had a hello, and it's good to see you back. And he's like, oh, you know, I'm not competing, but it's so funny how much you miss this atmosphere when you're not on tour. Like when the events, it's home. It's like family to see everyone surfing and the excitement around events, the competitiveness between everyone. So yeah, I just love it. I think it's the best job in the world, and why would I want to stop anytime?
We love it, and we love it too. Good stuff here from Stephanie Gilmore. Back up to you guys.
Thank you very much, Peter Mel. Stephanie Gilmore in fine form to be one of the best surfers to watch on the opening day of competition. A couple of pocket 8s along the way. And the fun part for us in Gilmore's career, it's the first time she's not the front runner coming into the contest. We haven't even been talking about yellow with her this season. Now number 7 in the world.
Yep.
Potts, thinking of her being a spoiler, is there still an outside shot she could pull something really dramatic off this season?
Well, I mean, if she wins here, she could go on and win France, win Portugal, and then take out Maui, which pretty much every event she's won on tour. So she can do that whole Kelly Slater thing where, you know, if she gets on a roll here, which is she's done before. I mean, the best I've ever seen this wave surf was from that young lady there. So she's happy, she's smiling, she's in a good place. So look forward to seeing what she's got next.
She also talks about her 6th world title, her most well-earned, most deserving because of the level lifting from women like Tyler Wright, Carissa Moore. Rosie, speaking of Tyler Wright, you were in the water in that heat earlier today. What went wrong for Tyler? Why are we going to see her in round 2?
Well, I think one of the curveballs that were thrown at the ladies today was just the lully ocean. I mean, it was really hard to predict the sets and where it was going to break. And then also it's a tough lineup. You look at this round number 1 heat, you've got Bethany Hamilton. I mean, the wild card is just in such great form at the moment. She's in great shape, and she's bringing that kind of lightness that you get when you don't have to have the pressure of going for a world title into this contest. And then you've also got someone like Nikki Van Dyke who's really hungry for a result.
Really impressive to see that frontside hack from Bethany Hamilton. And Potts, you remember, Nikki didn't get started really till the 19-minute mark in this matchup.
Yeah, I mean, made a couple of early errors on a couple of ways, but then found these left-handers. I mean, this was a heat where the lefts were definitely a lot better. Tyler sort of kind of stumbled a little bit as well, but I'll tell you what, Bethany surfed incredibly well, and after that heat she said, you know, I'm hoping that Tyler goes on to win the world title, but she's got Bethany in round 2, so Bethany could actually be a real spoiler.
What could we see as a rematch from the Fiji Pro? We had all the same 3 surfers in round 1. Nikki sent Tyler and Bethany into round 2 back then, and she's done it again. Completely different venue, as Tyler's going to be under pressure against the wild card in Bethany Hamilton. Rosie, longtime competitor yourself, how drivey is that competitive nature of Bethany Hamilton as a wild card?
Oh, definitely. I mean, she's a former competitor and she wants to prove herself here, but then Tyler Wright, you know, she's got all that pressure on her shoulders. She's looking for her first world title.
Really excited to see the world title showdown. Once Tyler got sent to round 2, we saw Courtney Conlog looking for an opportunity to put more pressure on the Australian to try to go straight into round 3. Once again, things kind of changed the script. Conlog, so dangerous out here, and came into this heat looking for something to prove. She made a good decision on this left early on to get a big score, Potts.
Yeah, that she did. I mean, you know, you look at the way she's surfing. She's got more power, speed. I mean, she's you know, throwing a lot into it. You can see a lot of spray flying out the back of the wave, as opposed to a lot of the other ladies. But Laura Enever, I mean, she looks sharp. Obviously, coming from Narrabeen, that backhand is you know, finely tuned, and she looks sharp. I mean, you know, it's a new and improved Laura Enever. I'm loving what I'm seeing so far this year from Laura.
Laura Enever able to steal the win on the lowers left. We reflected on her 10 in Fiji. Is her backhand her serious weapon on the top 17, Rosie?
You would have to say so. I mean, when it's waves of consequence like Fiji or just 3-foot waves at low trestle, she really is able to put that hammer down on her backhand, which is so impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so fun to watch someone that has that comfort level in the pocket like that.
Really impressive seeing the top 17 reroute our title contenders, Courtney Conlog, into round 2 to take on Chelsea Tuak. And also, we're going to have a sudden death matchup, a rematch from Fiji. Tyler Wright taking on Bethany Hamilton when this one continues. Up next on the post show, we'll break down the form of 3-time world champ, defending Swatch Women Pro champ Carissa Moore. Welcome back to the WSL post show for the Swatch Women's Pro. Remember, we only had 6 heats completed today, but now we have some heavy matchups already to look forward to. In round 2, Joe Chappelle alongside Rosie Hodge and Martin Potter as we break down the action. We talked about the top picture on the Jeep leaderboard not being so successful in the opening round of competition, just with 2 high-seeded surfers taking big wins in their matchups. One of them, 3-time world champ Carissa Moore, coming back as the defending champion of this event, looking for her first win of the season. even on waves that didn't give her much to work with, Rosie, she was blowing her tail out on demand. Looked really sharp today.
Well, that's the thing. She's got a level of comfort out in this lineup that, I mean, a lot of surfers are looking to find and replicate. She's surfed so many junior titles out in this lineup. So it must be like a second home for her, and that's often pretty dangerous when you put a surfer out with that level of comfort.
Bianca Batendog in this heat as well. Looked really smooth on the waves that she took on, but it was just hard to compare it to Carissa Moore's progressive movement.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at Bianca surfing incredibly well, but she had Carissa against the ropes in the early stages of this heat, and Carissa's got a knack of doing that, doesn't she? As soon as a surfer posts a big score towards her, she does this kind of stuff. I mean, just blows the tail out. She's looking free, she's looking loose. Round one, and she's looking dangerous already, so I think she wants to go back-to-back here for sure.
The scary part is he's number 3 in the world, just dying for a win to go for his 4th world title this season. She makes it look so easy and effortless. We got to see Gilmore in the last heat as well. Do you compare Carissa to Gilmore, giving more the edge on progression? When it comes to lowers, is it hard to separate the two?
I mean, wow, it was such a great performance from both Carissa and Steph. I was really blown away by the way that Steph was surfing in that last heat. I definitely think that she's probably watched Carissa's heat and then try to one-up it. So she's definitely got that edge on her at the moment, I would say, in round number 1.
Yeah, I think Carissa's going to have to crank it up. She's going to have to match those big swooping turns that Steph's got, but Carissa's got the innovation. She's got those above-the-lip kind of moves, so if they come up against each other in the quarterfinals, which they probably will, she's going to have to go to the air, I reckon.
Pretty heavy situation seeing Gilmore, Carissa Moore, champs for the last decade, now finding this form towards the back end as they're still hunting down their first win. They're successful into round 3. Round 2 matchups are heavy for Courtney Conlog and Tyler Wright, but we also have to remember we haven't even gotten started yet with the Hurley Pro. Those guys are on standby to possibly run into tomorrow. As we know, Rosie, Kelly has this dramatic feeling about him, kind of coming back to that winning kind of form. The most successful surfer at Lower Trestle's history. Are you anticipating fireworks out of the greatest of all time?
Oh, guaranteed. I mean, just seeing his interview after he won in Tahiti and seeing that emotion from him, it just shows how much he cares. And as soon as you see that and he turns that focus on, it's just incredible to watch, and it's so fun to see someone get fired up.
Well, he's got that feeling back, and I think he missed that for, at least 2 years. And it's funny, once you get that feeling back, you want it more and more. It's so contagious, and Kelly knows how to do it. He's won every event coming into the back part of this year. He could go on a crazy roll, who knows, and put himself right back in that world title race.
We're talking spoilers with Gilmore sort of playing that card as number 7 in the world, and then you look at spoilers on the men's side. Mick Fanning, are we allowed to call him a spoiler? He's the defending champ of this event. He's calling this event the last one of the season. He hasn't made a statement yet for next year, but there's people talking downstairs. Maybe this will be the last event of his career.
Wow.
As he could maybe upset the world title race once again. What do you expect out of Fanning?
That just made me so sad. I really don't want to see him stop surfing these events. I mean, we saw him win in J-Bay, and that was incredible. And now to see him here at Trestles, he won here last year. I'm just excited to see his form. I mean, he's taken, obviously, Tahiti off, so he's had a bit of time to prepare, but I do not want to think about Mick Fanning not competing on the WSL Tour.
It was such a big statement to call after the win at the J-Bay Open to be number 5 in the world, a guy that's dedicated to win world titles, but still sticking to his word of taking a personal year off. Were you surprised by that?
No, not at all. I mean, you look at Mick's, track record. I mean, he's won so many events. He's got 3 world titles. The guy's got nothing to prove, and you can tell by the way he's surfing that's the case. I mean, J-Bay, nothing to prove, goes out and wins it. I would not be surprised if he does the same here.
Spoilers in Mick Fanning, and also the local contingent will be backing Tanner Gudauskas, representing San Clemente once again alongside Brett Simpson, who will be the wild card returning to the top 34. Waves are expected to be increasing over the next couple of days. Surfline forecaster Charlotte Perry joined us on the desk this morning, and local, Rosie, for you, how are you expecting the waves to be tomorrow?
I'm just looking forward to improve. I think we're seeing that southerly swell really start to fill in. That angle's really looking great, and I think we're going to see some beautiful surfing put down.
Looking forward to maybe another quick start. Remember, tomorrow morning we'll be here live for Dawn Patrol at 7:30, hoping for an 8 o'clock start. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you then. This copyrighted event broadcast is produced by the World Surf League for broadcast around the world and may not be retransmitted, reproduced, rebroadcast, or otherwise distributed or used in any form without the written consent of the World Surf League. Good morning and welcome to San Clemente, California. We're here at Lower Trestles, stop number 8 for the women on the Samsung Galaxy Championship Tour.
And we're kicking things off in flying form, Ross. A really fantastic first heat. One of the biggest sets of this first heat coming in now in Malia. And there is a solid, committed turn from the Hawaiian. The goofy footer, Tatiana, taking off and getting things started with a nice frontside carve, swinging that board right around.
Right at the end of that heat, Tatiana Weston Webb got a final wave. It was just enough to take that top spot.
Tyler Wright preparing for her first round heat.
And further down the line on the lowers left is Nikki Van Dyke. The Australian finds the lip to work with on the inside corner. And Bethany will get a quick whip off the top on the inside corner.
The wave of the day so far comes from the surfer in blue, Laura Hanover, coming from North Narrabeen. She's honed her skills, and look at the snaps that she's doing.
Right now we want to see Carissa on the first wave of this heat. Explosive first turn. Stephanie Gilmore, and there is a beautiful snap